to see you today. It's a beautiful day in my neighborhood, so I thought I'd spend some time with you today. I'll set this right here and walk over here. You know, one of my heroes growing up when I was a child was Mr. Fred Rogers. And every day I'd watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and I loved his visits with me and all of the other television friends that he had. And I thought, you know, here's a picture of Mr. Rogers. And I thought, you know, I wonder what Mr. Rogers would say and how he'd handle talking to his television neighbors in times like this. So I thought instead, since he's not here, I'd take some time and spend a little bit of time with you and share a few thoughts that I might have to be able to help with things that are going on in the world, and maybe just to help a little bit with you and whatever you want to be able to become and how you want to improve yourself. You know, Mr. Rogers often talked a little bit about neighbors and friends. And you know, a neighbor isn't just somebody who lives right next to you. They're also a fellow human being. And I think that that's a great way to be able to approach this, to approach you much the same way that Mr. Rogers approached me as a child. And that was to look at you as being my neighbor and my friend. So with each of our visits, I hope that we can have that friendship and enjoy those times together. Today, I want to talk just a little bit about something called optimism. You may have heard of that before. You might wonder what optimism is. Optimism is being able to look at things and even when things might seem scary or sad or lonely, being able to realize that those things, they'll pass. They're not always going to be around. And that things will get better. Just like every day ends and the sun goes down and it gets dark, it doesn't always stay dark. Because the very next day, the sun comes up and it gets light again and it gets brighter. There may be days where it's overcast or cloudy and the sun is still up, even if you can't see it behind the clouds. But it still is a brighter day because the day happens. I want you to think of optimism the same way, recognizing that the day is going to get better, other days will get better as well, not just today, even if it seems a little dark. People who are more optimistic about things tend to have more creativity, and they tend to be able to get more things done. So it's important to be an optimist and important to find ways to improve in your optimism. You know, sometimes people compare optimism to a glass of water or a glass of anything. And it's important to recognize that what's important within the glass isn't what's not in the glass. It's what's inside the glass. Just like with you. It's more important to recognize what's inside you that matters. The things that you can offer, not just the things that you may not be able to do as well, or the things that you may not be able to offer, but the things that you can offer. So, how can we be more optimistic? Hope you don't mind me sharing a few ideas. For one, we need to be able to think about what's in the news. The news is out there, and we should be aware of what's going on in our world and going on around us. But once you've been able to get that news, it's okay to be able to put that news away for a while. Know what's happening and be happy with that, and then continue on. Don't spend too much time surfing the internet, news sites, and social media trying to continue to see all of the negative things that are happening, because they happen and they're there. Instead, Take some time to focus on good news. Look around for the good news that might be there. There are plenty of things on the internet that you can find that are good news, and you can find them if you just search for them just a little bit. Also, one thing that might help is a journal. A few years ago, I picked up this one, and I've been writing in it. It can be a big journal. It can be a small journal. It can even just be something as simple as a composition notebook. But just being able to take and write down your thoughts for a little bit. Find the things that there are to be good about, to be grateful for and to be happy about. You can also stop and take the time to talk to a friend, whether it's through social media or a video chat, however it is, being able to reach out to a friend and share with them something that you found to be positive. Reaching out to others is a really great way to be optimistic. Finally, there's so much in this world that we can control. There's also a lot that we can't control. Being able to recognize the things that we can't control and being able to set those aside and say, I don't have power for that, helps you to recognize the things that you have power over. One thing that Mr. Rogers used to say is that even if it's not a beautiful day outside, it can always be a beautiful day inside. Once you decide to make it a beautiful day, you have power. And that power to decide how you feel and how you're going to treat the day is going to make your life and your day happier. I hope that you can make your day and your life happier every day just by making that decision. I look forward to other times that we have together. And as we do, we'll talk a little bit more about other things, ways to be happier, ways to have a more enjoyable life, especially when life seems a little bit dark. In the meantime, I want you to be safe, be healthy, and do good. We'll see you next time.